Okay, we'll get started. So we already seen some basics about. Guys, can you hear me? Okay. So we already seen what are the commandlets or CMDlets, and we also seen how we can easily remember or we can easily search for different commands from the PowerShell ISC. So I would recommend to use PowerShell ISC if you are doing any scripting, because that's where you have the intelligence and everything. But if you want to run some simple commands, okay, where you already have the command, you just need to copy paste it, or you already have a script, just you want to execute it, you can directly open the PowerShell command and then run it. But if you are writing or wanted to do something, just use the PowerShell ISC so that you don't need to struggle a lot to remember or to note down or something, because everything is available there. Okay. So for any programming language, right, as I told you, you need to know the how to write conditions, how to loop the data and the variable declaration, and then you need to know the data types. Okay, if you know these things, that means you are good to write a script, or you good to write a code. After that, the features are, it's all about learning. The features will be there everywhere, and of course in your lifetime you cannot complete any feature set in any programming language. Okay, so but these are the foundation. This is like a grammar for your language, right? Without knowing grammar, you cannot write anything in any program, I mean in any normal language as well. So that's the reason I included these declaring the variables, or the writing the loops, conditions, and some built-in variables, etc. So that gives you ability to go ahead and write your own script. So let us say I want to work with some IIS settings. I want to create some IIS website right from my script. So you need to know the commands, right? How to write a script, how to declare a variable, means taking the IIS website name or the server name. You need to keep it in some variable, because you need to use it in the later code lines. If you don't know these declarations, then you cannot write it. Okay, of course you will get all these snippets on the on, right? But that's not on your own, right? You cannot troubleshoot, or you cannot do on your own. So I'm just trying to cover all these fundamentals so that you will be able to write your own script at the end of these one or two sessions, I must say. So as I told you, the main purpose of your PowerShell is to work with the operating system configurations. Your operating system may contain your file systems or your web servers, or installing some patches. It can be anything which is a part of your operating system, and running it as a background job. Let us say you write a script and you schedule it. It will do something based on your logic. Okay, and also your PowerShell can work with your Azure cloud resources seamlessly. That means right from your PowerShell, even without using your ARM templates, you can create virtual machines, you can delete them, and whatever is there in your Azure cloud, whatever is there, you can do updates, deletes, modification, anything, right from the PowerShell. You can access the remote. No, remote desktop is a utility. Okay, that is like your laptop, right? To access your servers, you are logging into laptop. At the same time, to access your servers, you are using the remote desktop. So PowerShell is not it's a programming language, or it's a scripting language. It's not any application. You are creating the applications using PowerShell. But a remote desktop is an application which you are using to connect to yourself. So what you can do, you cannot physically log into the server, but you can copy the content, you can execute some things on the remote servers using PowerShell, but you cannot log in. I mean, the way we are logging into servers using remote desktop, that's not possible. where this doesn't have that case. It's a scripting language. Okay, so working with PowerShell is very easy if you know all these simple items. So I have many commands that are available here, but I will only do one or two. I would like to share these commands with you. You can practice in your own time. Once you're done with these commands, then that is good, because I covered most of the regular things, but other things will be as per the project requirement. You can go and see. Again, PowerShell is not a new thing. It's been there almost a decade, right? There is nothing that you don't get online, but you need to know how to use it, how to search for things. If you know those things, then it is easy. Okay, that's where I'm trying to help here. So, what is this? Okay. So as I told you, since I'm trying to create a states, I just would like to use a PowerShell ISC than a PowerShell command prompt. So let's go and open PowerShell ISC. So as a programmer, I would like to run my even Visual Studio as an administrator. So let it open this command palette as well on the front side. Okay. So let's execute a couple of these commands and then we'll move on to the other things, because there is nothing to explain here for me. Okay. So let's say, because the reason I want to execute these things, because this will give you a good idea as a learner. So I want to put it here rather than, of course, when I run this from here, right, it will be displayed in the command prompt. Okay. So basically, as I told you, right, uh, all our command let's will start with verb hyphen and then noun or pronoun. So let us say my requirement now is creating a directory, a new directory. So the moment you will get is, okay, I want to create a new directory. It is an item. So you will say new item. That's, and the other thing is, if you want to create a directory or file, you need to keep it some form. That's where, okay. So all these additional things, you call them as a switches or arguments or an options. You call it as it is, anything. Okay. The switch I want to use is a path switch. Okay. And then I need to give my path which I given. And then what is the type? Because this is a new item, right? Okay. Using new item, you can create a file, you can create a directory, or you can create a document, or you can create a test file, anything, right? So you want to say what is the type of that item. Okay, that's where we are saying another switch, which is a item type, and I'm saying directory. If I say, so you will get other options as well. File. Okay. So the moment you type, I mean, you press on tab, right? If it is there, it will display. If it is not there, it will not display. Let's say it is not, even if I click on the tab, right, the case is not changing it, because there is no such word called file add or something. Okay, so you can use them. So I specified dire and then clicked on tab. It give me the additional things. So this is how, I mean, this is how you can you will learn the commands, or you execute the commands. So I just created a new folder test in the D directory, D drive. Let's go to D drive. So I just created, which is, so this is a 821 and this is empty. So in the same way, you can create the files as well. So let us say, so again, you will use the same, as I told you, same command, new item command, but this time I would say, instead of directly, I say file. Let me delete this one. See, here there is no selection kind of stuff. In other direct IDs, right? Like, let us say if you go to SQL Server, whatever you select, that will be executed when you click on, but it's not like this here. So now I created a file with the same command, but the item type is a file. So I created a text file. Okay. In the same way, you have other commands like copy commands, and then you can delete the folders. And then right now uh, I created an empty file. I need to add some content as well, so we have the commands for that one as well. I will show it in the next slides. Okay, let's create a, so let us say, let's say execute it. So you want to, the other typical thing is you copy folders one location to other location, or you copy folders from one folder to another folder. So let's take this one. Let me delete this. I already created these things because writing these things takes a lot of time. Okay, so what I'm saying now, so I'm copying items, like I have text files as well in my uh, test. I mean, in the under folder test, I don't have a test folder. I only create a new folder test, right? And the good thing here, right, it will show you as well whatever is available. It has the intelligence because your IAC, your PowerShell IAC is already accessing your path. That's why it is saying. I mean, I don't have any text folder. I only have the text file. Okay, so I'm not. What I'm saying, from this path, new folder test, take all the txt files and then copy them to the destination new folder test. Okay, let's not say. So let's click this. So there is a switch here. Recurs means if you have multiple files, right, still it will copy. Okay, that's the reason. So you have to use. So from this source path, I am copying all the text files to the destination new folder test one. Test one, if it is not text. Yeah, that's all. So I mean, I just wanted to do it and then show it. So it will create it. Even the same is the case with your files as well. Okay, so everything is copied. Yeah. Okay. Now you can so delete a folder. I mean, I can simply delete it. Let's say again, delete is nothing but you can search for delete. I mean, so you are not getting anything, right? I type delete and then say space. I don't get any delete file. Then the other options, the other words you have is a remove or something. So that's how because the standard things we can understand, like an update, delete, etc. But there might be some commands which you don't even know the words as well. You can try all these different components. Of course, first thing you do is a Google, but before that you try once, right? But this is the easiest way to do it. So for the delete, the other option, the other name is remove. That's where you say. But there are many things there. That's why it is displaying. So let's say remove, and then say again under remove there are many commands here. So it goes by what do you say? Alphabetical. Yeah, it goes by alphabetical order. So it's a remove item, and then you give the path. That's it. Directly. I want to delete this. Let me delete the top one. Of course, I can comment it, but I will show you while I'm writing this. So it is saying, so I don't see any recursive or something, right? What it is saying, your new folder test one is having some other content as well. Do you want to delete? Since you are doing it from the from the command prompt, it is giving you that pop-up. But if you are executing a script, you will not get it. The script will run in the background, but this is running from the application. I'll say S2R. So the new folder test one is been deleted. Okay. So these are, and there are many other comments. I'm just trying to give some overview under the files. But if you go to the online, right, we'll get hundreds of at least 50, 60 commands on the, let us say, you can change the permissions on the folders. Let us say read permission or set read only, etc. There are many other commands as well. But once you know these I mean, how to use your command. The other things is all about knowing your command action. So there is another easy way as well. So let us say you are struggling with this command. So I am saying, since I know it, I am saying, okay, you need to give the path, and then you need to give the uh, actual physical path, and then say give the item type. You may think, okay, I don't even know these switches in what place I need to give. So there is also a easiest way. I mean, that's the reason I opened this uh, command palette. Okay, so the easiest way is, let's go and search for some commands. Okay, let us say a new item, right? So I have this command here, new item. Let's click on this. Okay, let's click on this. Now it is giving some information. You can read it. Okay, I just don't want to read it. Close this one. Let me open the command palette again. Where is? Let me close it. So there are many easy ways to understand your commands. Where is my command? Looks like I unnecessarily. Yeah. Okay. So you have your new item. Just open this command, and now let us say insert. Rather than this, I will show some other stuff. Double click this. No, not this one. I don't want to show this one. I want to show some critical stuff. This IAS. New IAS set. Basically, when I click on this new IAS set, right? In the bottom of that page, it will give me the text boxes, all the options, the way we are doing the task, right? Task configuration in our Azure pipelines, because we are not thinking anything. We already having the text boxes. We are just going and configuring that. In the same way, I will get an option here as well. Let us say when I click on insert, instead of inserting here, right, it will give me an option. That's what I'm trying to double click it. Let it open. Okay. It will open me with all the options. I just need to go and type in my information. Let us say, yeah, I need to double click this. Okay, the show details. Now what all I need to do is let us say binding information. Let us say I'll give some text, then one. And these are all the options that you will get for this command IAS website. But generally, we don't remember that one, right? And if you want to do it, so that's why what we do, we basically go to the Google and copy paste it. But here also you can see all that stuff. Now let's say go and run it. Now when I run this one, right, I got the command syntax. Of course, I given some junk information. That's why it gave me a. So this is how you can get the command syntax as well. Like what are all the things, what switches you need. See, hyphen binding information, hyphen name. So if you don't know what switches you need to use, the easiest way is go to your command palette and search for your command, show the details, and then click on the, let us say we do this new item, right? New item, double click, and then show details. Basically, these will help you to quickly learn anything. So for the new item, what we given path, and then path switch, and then actual path, and then item type switch, and then the item. So in the same way, they will give it. What is the path? Let us say Purna. I would say Purna one, and then click on this confirm. I don't want any credential, just force, and then item type is, let us say, directory. Okay, and then I'm not using any other stuff, and then common parameters. So this is, I mean, this will be available for each and everything. So I mean, the way you are having the control options in your task, right? In the same way, this is all about error information. Okay, let's go and run it. You want to? So since I am running from the IAC, it gives me all these values, the information S2R. See, the Pune one is being created. Now you know how to use this. Control C, and then so the path, and then the actual path, and earlier I was using only item type and directory, and from here I also come to know there is a switch called confirm and force as well, because I used it from here. So this is how you can easily learn PowerShell commands. You don't need to struggle a lot. So using your both Google and here, uh, and you all need to know is what thing. Let us say you want to work with some Azure virtual machines. You come here, all Azure stuff will start with AZ. You can see, and you see add, and you can add many things: application gateways, virtual machines, etc. So this is the best way to learn the commands, okay, and the syntax as well. So in the similar, so this is how you can work with file systems or any commands. So you can work with. So the other thing that mostly used is dates. So let us say you will get the dates, you will add the dates to the current date, or you subtract the dates from the current date, etc. And means you use these things as part of your logic, okay, when you are writing a script, because you need to write a logic, okay. Say get date. You can see this one here. Let me clear this. So if you want to add the date, I'll just use a couple of things here, and then you can do on your one. So I want to add one day to the current date and see the output. For that, it is a set date. I can click on that tab, and so that this casing will get adjusted. So I'm setting the date to the current date, and I'm adding one day here. Okay, that's it. If I add one day, it is 5th February. Okay, since the first command is also executed, it is giving 4th February as well. Okay, so this is how you work with dates. And then in the previous commands, yeah, it is setting the date, because this is running on my PC, right? Because this is not a variable purpose. So anyways, I restart it, it will change it. That's okay. Okay. So we created a files, right? So to the test files, you can add content, you can update content, or you can delete, or you can append the content, right? So these are all the commands that you have. So for the adding content, you have the set content command. Okay, so the set command, set content, and then the path. So I don't have a test path. I think my path is a test file, I guess, test file.txt, and I'm just adding some content. You have to keep it in the single quotes. Let's go and okay. Now the content is being added under new folder test, and I have the test file here. Azure DevOps demo is what I written using my PowerShell command. And if you want to read it, we have the read content command, that is a get content. So I can simply take this and do that. So let's go ahead and get content and then path. See, I read it actually. Okay, if you want to, let's clear it. And then when you are learning commands, don't do multiple commands because you will get confused in the bottom. So I read it actually, Azure DevOps demo. That is what in my test file.txt. So in the same way, uh, so there are some commands like a write post, etc. That means you are writing something to the console. Let us say we are running the build pipelines or release pipelines, right? We are seeing some logs, how they are logging it. So different programming language is having a different way of writing the content to the web page. So in PowerShell, you use a command called write post. Okay. So even write post, I mean, as a developer, we can even customize the formats and everything, right? That also can do. So the simple write post is, let us say, clear it. Then, so I say write post. Okay. So that means you are writing it to the console. Okay, you can see the here. So we will be using this write post. That is when you are writing some script, right? Even your script may fail. That time you want to write that content to some database or some text file. In such kind of things, you will be. I mean, it is helpful. So and you can also format your content as well. Let us say I have written welcome, right? I can format that content as well. Right now I'm formatting something. Let us say I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. These are the things I have. I want to format it when I'm displaying it on the web page or on a console, right? I want to format it. Let's see how it gets formatted. See how it is. So I'm saying 2. I have the content 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. But how it is displayed 2, comma, and then arrow, and then 4, comma, arrow, etc. So you can set up. I am setting up the foreground as dark green, and then background as a white color. So since this is blue, it doesn't display dark green correctly. Let us say red. Okay. Now I change the foreground color to uh, red. So this is how you can format your content that you are displaying. So now you know how to write a command and execute it, and how to use this. How to learn the command syntax from the commands palette the easiest way. The next one is so these are very simple commands, right? But you may also need to work with some other things. Let us say variables. Okay, so the variable is nothing but, let us say you are writing 10 lines of script. Okay, and you got some output in line 2. You want to use that output in line 10, then you need to use a variable because it will hold it. If you don't keep it in a variable, then you can't use that content in the line 10 or line 7 or whatever it is. So excuse me. So in PowerShell, you declare a variable with a dollar symbol. Okay, dollar followed by any string. So let us say dollar location, or you can give any string. This is how you declare a variable in PowerShell. So if you want to assign, so right now in my dollar location there is nothing. Okay, because when I executed this one, my command prompt is empty here, the output window. So I can keep some content in my variable as well. How I can save it? So equal to, then let us say the easiest thing is get location or anything, let it be. So now the command is being executed and some content is being assigned to my variable, but it is not displayed because I'm not displaying it. How you can do it? Again, I can simply say $location. You see, now there is some content from this command get local group. I got some information, okay, local group information, and I kept that local group information in my location. So from the get local group, I got some output. That output, what you see on the bottom. So that, excuse me, I stored that output into my variable $location. And again, I use that $location variable to display that on the console. If I don't use this $location, right, let us say, let's delete it, let's run it. Now the content is there in your $location, but it is not displayed because I'm not displaying. If you want to display, you have to simply say, you have to call it. That's it. So let us say it will work like this. After $location, I have some other commands as well. Let us say get date. Okay, and let me remove this. The get date is done. Okay. Now, if you don't have this variable declared, right, you cannot get the get local group. Okay, this is a command, you can use it anywhere. But if you are doing some computation, let us say sum of two numbers, etc., you won't get it again, right? It is a dynamic. Okay, you can use the same variable after some other lines of code as well. Now you see, I kept it here. I mean, first line is having my output into $location, and after that I done some computation. Still, I have my content here because I saved it into a variable. So first you see the command and then the data that is stored in the uh, $location. So that's how you use variables. So I combine all these different things what I'm explaining, and then we create a script at the end of this two sessions. Okay? Because to learn any language, these are very important. And then in any programming language or in any scripting language, there will be some system variables. Let us say when we are creating our build pipelines or release pipelines, we see, right, build configuration, build, and then uh, agent ID, etc. Those are not defined by us. Those are defined by the system itself. But we can use those variables in different areas. And what we define is our custom variables or user defined variables. In the same way, your PowerShell script is also having system variables. Okay, you can use those system variables as part of your scripting in any logic. Okay, let us say so anyways, whether it is a system variable or your user defined variable, it starts with dollar. And let us say I'm using dollar host command, a system variable. Let's delete this. So dollar host. So it will give me the host of my command prompt. I mean, basically I'm using a Windows PowerShell ISC, right? So it is giving me the information about my PowerShell ISC. In the same way, there are many many things. Let us say you take the error. So this is a thing you mostly be using, and you will be using arguments as well, because error is something where many people use it. Let us say error. Right now, see, I executed this script. What is a website, right? New website creation some 10-15 minutes ago. After that, I executed many other commands. But when you use the dollar error, right, it is giving me the last code error. Whatever is the last error that happened from my system, it is giving me that one. So that is the benefit of your system variables. So it preserves in the background. You don't need to store it. So if at all you need to use, okay, you are writing some script, and if you want to know what is the exception that occurred before your script executed, you can use dollar error. So likewise, You can go and so I'll give you these things. You can go and try running these scripts. I also written the description as well, so you will understand. I mean, what are all these different commands at the different variables. So when you are writing the scripts, right, you will understand. I mean, if there is any need of these system variables. Okay. So one more thing that many people may try to use is a PID. PID is, this is a process. So you will have many processes running, right? So PID will give the process name. So this has given me the process name 12 process ID, that is 12276. That means this is a process of my PowerShell, process ID of my PowerShell. Okay. If you want to run all these processes, let us say get process, run this one. So you have many processes, right? I got all the processes. If you look at the PowerShell, then the ID of your PowerShell ISC should be. So let's go to PowerShell. Yeah, I can say simply, let me, we already run that command, right? Uh, I will get only PowerShell related now. Okay. So what is the PowerShell ID now? So this is the one I got it when I run the $PID, right? So this is how we can understand. So these are the purposes of even system variables. We don't need to store on even one. It is already storing that information for you. Okay. So you go and execute. I'll share it. You go and execute all these things on your own. So let's get on to the next one. So in any programming language or scripting language, your operators are very important because you are doing your computations, right? Your logic contains, it's all about conditions. It's all about looping through the data and then applying some arithmetic operations. I don't think there will be anything more than that. Be it a website or be it a scripting or be it our regular mathematics. Without this, your scripting or programming language will not be there. That's the reason I am covering these things as well. So so we cover all these things. Arithmetic operators means plus, minus, subtraction, etc. And then comparison, less than, greater than, etc. And then assignment operators means equal to, etc. And then logical. Logical means if you are a CS background, you know it. I mean logical and logical are logical and which works at 0 or 1. Okay, we will say it. And then redirectional operators. If you are a Unix guy, we can send data from one file to another file when you're executing it. And then there are some join operators type, and you hardly use binary operators, etc. But the top 5-6 areas, that's what you use as part of your any programming language or any script. Yeah, we cover the data type because just only using that word, right? Let us say I created a dollar location. I just need to use a bool or a string. By default, it is a string. That's the reason when I'm writing the script, I want to use it because it doesn't make a big difference for me. So let's do some. So again, don't worry. I mean, you don't need to struggle to remember the these. I mean, operator symbols. Very easy. So since we already covered how to create a variable that starts with dollar, and again your arithmetic operators are these are no way different, plus, minus, etc. These are you can keep $x plus $y. I given the space for the readability, but in some other scripting languages, even space also matters. Some scripting languages, space also matters. Here it is not like that. Don't worry about that. Okay, let's go and do some arithmetic operations. So I'll do one and then you can do rest of the stuff. So for that, first I need to have some data, right? Let us say I'll say $x, and then I'll say my it contains some 15, and then $y contains some 20. Okay, so I want to do uh, sum of these two numbers. Very simple. That is $x plus dollar y. That's it. So it executed dollar x plus dollar y is being executed, and the output is 35. Okay. So if you want to keep it in some other variable, let us say dollar sum, then let's keep it. But now it will not display. It will not display your output because dollar x plus dollar y value is now stored into dollar sum, but I am not displaying that one. For that, either you need to use write post, anything. I'm just trying to show. You can directly use like this dollar write post and then your variable, or you can directly dollar your variable. So you see this. Let's put a clear command, so it will delete the earlier one. So now it is displaying 35. Okay. In the same way, I mean, don't worry, I mean, I'm removing the spaces now. So still I get it. So in some scripting languages, space is very important. If you give space, if you don't give space, right, what it says, it will treat it as a string. It will not treat it as an operator. So that's the reason I want to show it, all these things. And minus, you know this, just simply say minus. So 15 minus 20, that's why minus 5. So likewise, you can apply multiplication, division, and modulus as well. Okay. So let's get on to comparison operators. So you have a less than, greater than, equal, not equal, right? So this is an abbreviation. Equality, equal, right? EQ, not equal, NE. This is just abbreviation. Okay. And then greater than GT, less than LT, greater than or equal to GE, less than or equal to L. It's easy to remember. Okay. So you can say greater than or equal to, okay, greater than, you take the G, equal to, you take E, like that. Okay. So we use the same thing, but now let's go ahead and apply other, I mean, the comparison operators. Now I will say dollar $x less than, right? You need to start with hyphen. You remember, if you are having any words, commands with the words, right, you need to use hyphen. This is a funda. Let us say I'm using switches, use hyphen. And now I used arithmetic operator. That's not a string. That's a operator. That's why I'm not using plus or minus. But if I'm using any word like more than one letters or something, use hyphen. I mean, that's a very standard way that I would say. So I would say now I want to say whether my x is greater than, say, GT, greater than dollar $y. That's it. That's executed. So it's a false. And I would say my x is a less than, I would say space. I'm giving space for the readability. Okay. Less than L, and then E. I'm not going to less than or equal to. I will say less than LE. Okay. Yeah, x is less than y. That's why it is giving true. And in the same, you can use a less than or equal to. E, less than or equal to, right? L, less than is L, equal to is E. True. So likewise, you can use other operators. So I'm just pronouncing these things so that you can also easily remember. It's just an abbreviation, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, less than, greater than, but you need to give hyphen B. Okay. The same way, we have the assignment operators. So I mean, if you are a programmer, you know what is this plus, equal to, minus, equal to. This is a very, I mean, there is no significance for these operators. So basically, what we are doing, dollar $x plus dollar $y, right? Then we get the sum of two numbers. Okay. I can write it in a different way as well. Okay. So there will be some scenarios. So dollar $x space $y. Okay, and the output is 35. So there is a other way of doing this one as well. $x plus equal to y. Sorry, $y. So this is also another way. For the readability, let's see whether it allows or doesn't allow. Always keep your code readable. Okay, let's go and execute this. I don't see anything because now let me go ahead and put content. The first 35 is output of $x plus $y, and then what I done, I written the $x plus $y in a different way. $x plus equal to $y. So now the $x value is 35. So it's like, earlier what you are doing, you are using some variable. Let us say dollar location, let us say dollar sum equal to $x plus $y. Now my dollar sum it contains 35. In the same way, you can use, you can keep the, you can increment the value of your, let us say, actual the value of $x is 15. After using $x plus equal to $y, it became 35. Basically, when you say $x, the above operation, right? Basically, it works like this: $x equal to $x plus $y. This statement is equivalent to this statement. Okay, when you are writing, when you are matured programmer, right? Basically, you will go and use these kind of operators as well. Okay, I just want to cover it so that you will not get confused. What are these? So you call them as assignment operators. Okay, and the next one is logical operators. So you have, so this is and or not. Okay, so this doesn't work at value. It doesn't matter if your variable contains 1 or 10 or 15. It only matters if it is a 0 or 1. 0 means 0, other than 0 means 1. Okay, let's go and see the arithmetic, the logical operators. Now my $x contains 15, the $y contains 20, right? Now let's see $x hyphen and $y. So what will be the output of this command or this computation? It is saying true. So as I told you, this is a logical operation. Logical means 0 or 1. It is a binary. In our English, it is a true or false. 0 means false, 1 means true. So why it is giving true? The reason, both my x variable and variable y variable are having non-zero numbers. It's not 0. Okay, if I give a $x as 0, then you see false. And let's make it 10 or something, and let's make it 0, $y as 0. Again it will become false. We keep both of the numbers non-zeros other than 0, then it will become true. Means both has to be ones other than zeros. So that is a logical AND. Okay, and the logical OR, one of it will return true if one of them contains non-zero. One of them can be a 0. So now I say hyphen R, which is a you say, don't say R, logical OR. It is saying true. Now let's make any one of these variable as 0. Now it will also give true, because for R, right, at least one condition is satisfied, it will become successful. So I make both of them 0, false, because both of them are false, I mean zeros. So we have another one that is a not equal to. So logical not. So logical not is means if we give let us say your variable contains true value, it will, if you use not, it will make it false. So it will make it opposite, true or false. Let us say I am removing this one, $y. Okay, let's remove this one. Now $x, sorry, hyphen not $x. What it is saying? True. Actually, my $x contains 0. That means actually in the logical manner, this is false. So this is a logical thinking. Okay, this is not a physical one. So if you are a computer science graduate, you will understand that. Now let's make it 1. I mean 1 or 10, but other than 0. Okay, now let's execute it. False. Because actually this contains the binary as a true, but I used hyphen not. So how you can basically hold them into some variables. Result, because you cannot simply use like this, right? When you are using these operators, basically you are using it for some purpose. That means you have to store it in some place. Now let's say it is showing empty because I did not display the result. I can say result, say false, and now I make it 0. Actually it is false, but now it makes true because I used logical not. So those are all the operators. Of course, you have few more, but these things, right? Redirectional and split. These are not actually operators, but you use them as part of the program, like redirecting content or something. I will show it when we come to some script, but these are not regular ones. Okay. So now you know how to declare a variable, how to use commands, and you know the arithmetic operators, logical operators. That means you can write your logic, but these are not sufficient, right? When you're writing some logic, you work with the data, and also you work with some of your website data or your operating system data. So you also need to know those commands. And apart from that, you also need to know looping the data or applying some conditions, if else, etc. So we will see them tomorrow. Once we done these with these loops and conditions, then we can go ahead and work with what we do. Instead of working with some file system, we directly work with the Azure cloud resources, so that you will cover both working with the cloud resources using PowerShell, and you can apply the same conditions and everything your regular data. Okay, so I'll stop it for today and we'll continue tomorrow these sessions. So end of tomorrow, right, you will be able to write your own script for sure. That I can give guarantee if you practice. Yeah, I will share these comments with you. Okay, I'll give you my email ID. So no, some other people don't have it. Okay, you
can we type our email IDs in the chat window?
You please send me a test email because I don't note it down. So I given my email ID here, punascc@hotmail.com. You please send a test email to me. Mention it. PURNAACC. Okay, I will share all these comments in a PDF. Okay. Thank you guys. We'll again connect tomorrow.